Hello, 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 beautiful beings. Welcome back to your soul's compass.
Welcome to the show, people. Welcome to the show.
I'm Beta. I am a soul just like you on a mission of self-discovery, of self-love, self-potential, really just trying to understand myself further.
Maybe the minute you stop trying so hard.
What my potential means, what my love means, just getting to know myself a little bit better, because simply, why not? Why shouldn't we come to this world to understand ourselves and add value to the world?
I want to add something to this world.
And add value to relationships, add value to friendships, family, add value to what we do. And so in this journey of my life, I've decided to come here in front of you today and just recently started this journey as far as letting you know about all the things I've been through and all the things I'm going through as of today and this moment. So specifically for today, if you tuned into the last episode, you would have learned about my past, and kind of my dark night of the soul is kind of what we would in the spiritual community consider kind of our awakening. Or if you're not into that, or you're not sure of what that even means, what it really means is just kind of a journey in which it was a lot of challenges that I went through personally, without people really knowing about it. And then it led me to kind of understanding myself further and learning about who I am and loving myself and coming to this understanding of, oh my gosh. So basically, to sum it up, a dark night of the soul is simply pretty much going from feeling like the world is crashing you and then coming to the realization that, oh my God, I am the world. That's as simple as I would put it.
I am the luckiest kid in the world.
So that was the last episode. So on this specific episode, I want to talk to you today about who I am now.
Oh boy, I've been waiting for this.
So really, one thing I want to talk about is the fact that I originally mentioned that I really wanted to do these podcasts as a weekly thing. And you know, I would love to say that life happens and that's the real reason as to why I haven't. But if I'm being real, and that's the whole point of this, is to be authentic and to actually share what goes on. Honestly, I'm still to this day, as much as in the last episode I talked to you about, I used to have this pressure on myself growing up. I put this pressure upon myself, whether it was because of the way I was raised or simply okay, let's put it this way. Basically, I was in a survivor mentality, right? So growing up, I had the survivor mentality. I had to do what I needed to do in order to get by and to survive.
This is Sparta!
And now I'm at this point in my life where I no longer need to be in survivor mode anymore. I can actually know that I'm safe, I'm grounded, I'm centered, I'm loved, I'm supported, and I can be authentically me and show up as me.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
But that doesn't mean that I don't show up sometimes where I put a lot of pressure on myself. That is absolutely something that I still deal with to this day. I still am battling like this heavy feeling of wanting to get it right and make sure I am doing things the right way. It doesn't mean that I don't, like, I lost the perfectionism and, oh, I'm healed and now woohoo, I'm perfect. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this journey is. And I want to be authentic and share that with you. So even in this journey of me putting this podcast together, I've come to realize more about myself, like, oh my gosh, I still to this day put a lot onto my shoulders when I don't need to. It doesn't have to be that hard and that tough. All I have to do is just put myself in front of the camera, right? And I can just act like I'm just talking to one of my friends, or talking to myself in the mirror that I tend to do all the freaking time.
I don't mind talking to myself.
And what I want to talk to you is who I am today is just a, what I would like to say, better version, not necessarily trying to put myself in the past down, because to me it's still a version of me and I absolutely love that version of me, and I'm actually very proud of every single version of myself. um but basically just saying it's kind of like a, yeah, it's another level. You know, if you play video games, you'll know that there's different levels that comes to video games. So this is what I would say is I'm still that girl, but a level up of that girl.
Baby, welcome to your next level.
It doesn't mean I'm hiding away from her. It doesn't mean I'm ashamed of her. I'm actually very well and accepting of her. I'm proud of her, like I mentioned. And so what that means is I'm still dealing with uh my own pressures and internal criticism. I even still to this day deal with like self-worth. I'm not going to lie to you, even doing this, I was like, "Oh my god, how am I supposed to be like who am I to be doing this podcast? Who am I to be making a YouTube? Who am I to be talking about anything, and who even wants to listen?" And what I came to understand over these, I'll say 2 weeks, because in the beginning I meant to have this to be weekly, but then it turned into bi-weekly simply because of me carrying this weight alone and working through it, is I learned that I'm not alone in this, and I need to stop being in that survivor mode that I had to put everything on my shoulders, or what I felt like I needed to growing up. I no longer need to do that anymore. I have a support team. I have people who are willing to listen to me, who are willing to work through this. I have people on the seen and unseen side who are divinely guiding me, divinely loving me, and divinely supporting me.
What does that mean? Angels are all around us.
So you don't have to wear this pressure on you all the time. And the amount of pressure that actually comes in, I just so you guys could get an example of how much pressure I put upon myself sometimes. um it can get to the point where I actually physically feel it in my body. And I hope that this is kind of like a an indicator for yourself as well, that if you feel tension in your body, I would invite you to listen to it, because that can that, I'm not even gonna say it, that can kinda, it is telling you something is trying to get your attention. And so anyways, for me, I would get tension here on my left shoulder, and I knew that that was just built up tension, built up stress. I'm trying to basically, quite literally, put the world on my shoulders and do it all myself when I don't need to do that.
My shoulder's fine. This one? Yeah.
So that has been me as of lately. And so that's the part one, is that I'm understanding and learning that I don't have to do this all on my own. The other part of it is I was also the girl who, I was very scared, honestly, growing up. I am not even gonna lie to you. I was just a fearful girl for many reasons. And I still wear fear with me.
You seemed so fearless.
Not as someone that I am carrying the fear and dragging it along. It's not a fear that's daunting anymore. It's not something I'm afraid to have, because the thing of the matter is, everyone has fear. Everyone has fear. And if anyone ever says that they are fearless, like I have said in the past, there have been many times where I was like, "Oh, well, I don't fear. I only fear fear itself." And while that's still technically true, like I fear fear, but I still have fears. Everyone has fears, and that's okay. There's big ones. There's like fear of the unknown. There's fear of loss of control. There's fear of death. There's fear of someone you love dying. There's fear of specific animals like spiders, lizards, monkeys. Don't know why I said monkeys, but monkeys apparently came out.
Monkey see, monkey do.
There's different fears. There's fear of being seen. There's fear of being alone. There's so many fears. And what I understood and came to find out throughout me growing up is part of me running away and trying to seek external things is because I was trying to run away from all this fear I had. And as of lately, what I came to the understanding is I don't need to run away from it. I can be courageous because there's a difference between fearlessness and courageousness. Courageousness is someone that takes fear with them, knows they're fearful, right? But still does it anyway and is still brave. Whereas someone who's fearless is without fear, but as we know, that's not true. It's more of like we're pretty much lying to ourselves and we're being inauthentic in that notion.
I gotta call bullshit on that.
And for me, part of that, part of me feeling the fear and being courageous and just taking ownership of the fear, I've been able to understand and come to my own internal power. And that internal power basically is that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect anymore. I don't have to pretend like I'm something I'm not. I can show up as me. If for whatever reason one day I decide that I'm not really feeling it, then I'm not going to really feel it and I might just chill back. Um and if that makes people uncomfortable, then that makes people uncomfortable. It's not my responsibility. It was never my responsibility in the first place to ever put any pressure upon myself. It was never my responsibility to put the feelings of my parents onto myself. So it's never going to be my responsibility to take on what other people say or think about me, and it will be never be my responsibility for how others feel in general and what they do or don't do. And all that in a nutshell to basically say that the person I am now is really just navigating this, navigating a part of her past to today, but more of a 2.0. Like the most beautiful thing about this journey of life, some could call it a spiritual journey, some could call it just life in and of itself. However you decide to call it and take it in, that's okay. But nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and say spiritual journey just because I personally resonate most with a spiritual journey. So the best part of this spiritual journey, aka life, is that it really does get easy. It really does get easier and easier. And the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you understand yourself, which is why I mentioned in the last episode that actually come into the understanding that, oh my God, I am I am what I have been searching for this whole time. Once you come to understand that, life gets easier. It just does. I can't explain it to you, but it just does. People no longer bother you the way that they used to because it's kind of like, well, they can't bother me anymore because I got me. And basically just trying to say is that along this beautiful journey that is life, is that of course, there's going to be bumps in the road. But these bumps in the road are meant to just really accelerate your growth and keep you accountable to the things and your desires, your wants, your needs, right? Let me just tell you a beautiful example of what just occurred. I have been, in case anyone doesn't know, part of my now journey, and I'm okay sharing with you because personally, I think when you speak it out loud, it's it's a declaration. So I'm putting it out there that I will be a speaker. And so in this journey of what I am, because I already am. Anyways, I have been doing some seminars, learning how to be a speaker because, of course, in my mind, in my mind right now, I am basically in the 90-day period of work, and in this work, I'm doing podcast, I'm speaking, and I'm doing other things that has to do with my personal brand and my business. And so I decided to join some seminars, and in the seminar, they were meant to teach about speaking and stuff. And for whatever reason, during the speaking event, you would think that it would excite me, but instead it actually brought hella fear. It brought fear of, am I even meant for this? Do I even have content that I want to talk about and speak about? What am I freaking thinking about being a speaker? Who even wants to get on a stage in front of an audience? Who even wants to get in front of a camera and talk in a mic on podcast? Anyways,
Overwhelming doubt is a problem.
do I have a message? Is there going to be an audience? Who's going to want to listen in? Why would they want to listen in? And there was just a lot of shit that comes with the whole idea around speaking. So anyways, nonetheless, it did the complete opposite that it was meant to do in my mind, right? In my mind, it was going to give me motivation and inspire me to want to go ahead and go through it. And so this was one day. One day I was just like, oh my God, I had a huge moment of, oh my God, I made all these major life decisions and transitions with this vision in mind. And if there's one thing about me after this complete journey is I knew I got me and I can always bet on me and I'm not going to give up and I'm very resilient. That those are my qualities that are me now to this day, have always been there and will always be there. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure I just messed up. Is this what I should be doing? And so I got to that point. Then comes the next day, and if there's anything that you ever need to do, that if you're ever feeling some type of way, I would recommend go your ass to sleep, because the next day I woke up and I had this complete turnaround in regards to my thoughts, feelings. And I was like, wait, hold on. I got this. I do know what I want to talk about. I mean, I might not know exactly the message, but I have an idea about the message that I want to talk about. I don't It's not really my dream desire growing up to have got to get on a stage, but for whatever reason it's just a natural born calling, and for whatever reason I can just see myself doing it, just like I can see myself doing this and getting better and better as I continue to go on. I know I'm not the best right now, and I know I'm still in the beginning stages of probably just talking shit and not actually making sense, or maybe I do make sense. Who knows? We'll get there.
Just do your best.
And all that to say is there are moments in life where you're not going to know exactly what's going to happen, what's going to play out, and that's okay. It's not really your job to do that. And to explain that I myself, who I am now, is a girl that's just taking a chance on her, that's still discovering herself and delayering herself and learning layer by layer. So kind of like, I'm just going to quote Shrek because it's funny to me, so I'm going to quote Shrek. So
Ogres are not like cakes.
anyways, onions have layers, ogres have layers, Vita has layers.
Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
So with each and every layer, there's a new part of myself, and I'm super excited to discover who that is. Among it all, at the core, at the onion core, if onions have cores, do onions have cores? I believe they do. If not, then we'll talk about apples. Nonetheless, at the core, I've always had this light and this just inner joy. And so that is who I am. And I'm just really trying to allow her to shine, not even to dig at her. There was a point in my life where I started to want to dig at her. And I think that me digging at her basically buried her deeper. And when I stopped resisting and just being and existing and enjoying life, that's when it became easier over time. And the being the beta that I'm calling in, that I'm stepping into, because it's not a different version of me, it's the same me. That's why I was talking to you earlier about the onion analogy, or whatever I said, apple, onion, apple. But that analogy is that there's still a core beta, right? Same beta. It's kind of like the butterfly, right? When we think about a butterfly, it's the same caterpillar, but transforms into a butterfly. So this is the same beta who transforms into a beautiful butterfly. I'm just kidding. um, Same beta, but transforms. Or like if you think about a snake, it's the same snake but sheds its skin every single time. Or if you think about a hermit crab, it might completely not have its shell for a little bit of time, but it's going to be the same crab, and then it goes and finds a different shell. But nonetheless, it's still the same hermit crab it once was before, just getting bigger. And as it grows, it finds a bigger shell, or a shell that's more comfortable, or it might be completely vulnerable at that moment. But nonetheless, that's part of the transformation. So, what I'm stepping into, or who I am today, because I don't really like to speak in future talk as much. I want to talk about now. And then what I'm stepping into is the girl who speaks courageously, speaks confidently, that knows what she wants, knows who she wants, knows who she is, and just embodies that character with pride, with joy, and is attentive, is a friend, a coach, a guide, speaker, and just has fun at the end of it all. Because there's a lot of people in this world. We don't need more. We don't need more seriousness. I think we need less of it. I think we need more of let's have fun. Like if I want to embody a character, it would be children on a playground.
Okay, everyone, recess. Come on.
That just ultimately have fun and are enjoying life, right? There's no care in the world. They don't even eat. They don't even think about eating. Like I don't know about you, but when I was young, I would want to play with my cousin all the time. And when we were playing, we never thought about food. But then there was a moment in time where then my mom was like, oh, okay, come eat. And then we got those sandwiches, those sandwiches that were like after you were at the pool, you got those sandwiches, and then you had that like Kool-Aid. Anyways,
Sandwich good.
that's the feeling that we should have as a kid. And the only reason why that ends up shifting as we're an adult is because we lose the sense of presence. And for me, I want to keep that presence in my life and be present. The more present I am, the more magical life is. And the more simple things like a Kool-Aid and a sandwich after a pool day and playing with my cousin is like heaven on earth, and is like the best thing. That's why, in the same notion, the same things that I was doing just a year ago, to me today, it's not really any different. The same person that I was a year ago, it's not necessarily different, but the mindset itself was. And yeah, just beta 2.0. Okay. So I laugh because I know that in this beginning, I'm honestly just talking. I think eventually I'm gonna get good. I'll have a plot, and I'll actually have a rhyme and a reason as to why I'm saying stuff. But in the beginning right now, For me, what's more important is that I show up for myself, I be consistent, and I just talk. I can't really say that there's an actual plot to this. But to wrap this up on today's episode, I'm so thankful that you on the last episode got to know me, and on this episode, you know who I am now. And if my words alone don't express it, then may my actions, may my everyday being and essence and energy aura emit that to you and emit that to this world, because we can absolutely use more of it. And I invite you that if for whatever reason I'm not saying that you need to be me, because you should not be me, trust me. You don't want to be me. Okay? The things that go on in here. Whew. Anyways, but if you feel called to wanting to have you, but you 2.0, if that's something that you're interested in, then honestly, I invite you to continue listening to these podcasts, these episodes, watch my YouTube, follow me on Insta, follow me on all the socials if you want to, no pressure, no pressure. Or if you even feel called to, by all means, feel free to DM me, feel free to comment, feel free to just reach out to me. Let me know what you're feeling and where you want to be, what you're calling in, what you're stepping into, what you've overcame. I genuinely want to know that. For me, in the beginning, this became, I really wanted to share my voice with the world and just share myself and hopefully help others. But honestly, at this point in my life, it's not even about that. If I could just make someone smile, cool, then I did my job. If I inspire someone, fantastic. If I can see someone be happy and be themselves, oh, I'm winning. We're winning. The world's winning. So, nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you've been following along in my journey, what do you want me to buy you? Like, what's up? I will buy you whatever you want, okay? No, seriously. All right, I'm done, because if not, I'm just going to keep talking. So, thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed day, and among everything, peace! May the Lord be with you. I don't know what that was. Please stop talking and just turn off this.
I don't have to look no further, 'cause I've reached my destination. I used to be lost, but now I'm found. As long as I know that you'll be around, I don't have to keep on searching. I'm right where I wanna be. I used to be so sad, now I'm glad I found something I never had, and I'm ready.
Excuse me. Totally burped, and I'm not going to edit that out, because I want you to see the raw, the real, the me. And I burp, okay? I don't know whoever told anyone that girls don't burp or fart. Sorry to say, but I do both, and I do it. Okay. We're getting besides the point, Tabita. Yeah, I lost my train of thought just because of that one. That's what I get.